In 2014, Aspetar Orthopaedic Sports Medicine Hospital in Qatar entered into a partnership with the Welsh Rugby Union, where we would aim to provide sports science and physiology cover in the preparation for the 2015 Rugby World Cup. That involved preparation and planning with the performance department at the WRU into the utilisation of both hypoxic environments in Switzerland and artificial in Qatar, and the application of heat, helping to enhance the physiological performance to allow our boys to get into a fitter competition ready for the World Cup. One of the prime drivers of altitude training is to increase your red cell mass. Increasing your red cell mass enables you to carry more oxygen. If you carry more oxygen, you can do a greater amount of cardiovascular exercise. Now, the reason why that's important is that rugby is an 80-minute game. It's high intensity, it's very aerobic, very strong, very powerful. But the competition has been held in London, and one of the criticisms about going to altitude is why go to altitude when you are competing in the UK? The reality of it is that going to altitude and going to a hot environment changes your blood chemistry that allows you to compete at a greater intensity when you go back to a normal thermal neutral environment, which will be the case at London.
So altitude and heat work in tandem. So initially with the altitude in the previous camp, that sort of sets us up well for this camp. So then we can top up on the altitude using the dormitories that they have here, and then the heat then will give us the added benefits as well. Well, the science has changed quite significantly. So 4 years ago, obviously, the cryotherapy chamber gave us a lot of benefits to allow us to work the boys harder. With this now, we can now push the boys even further again, whereas the heat and the science of the altitude then provides very good physiological benefits.
Well, one of the problems that the Welsh Rugby Union face, in fact all international unions face, is that the players come back from a long, hard season of domestic or French rugby, in our case. And so therefore, players have, when they come into an international squad, have a very limited amount of time. Some players are at a good fitness, some people are at a mediocre fitness, and some people may be coming off the back of an injury. How do you make sure a squad of 31 players going to the World Cup are all in a uniform state and going into it and peak physical condition? So what we've found is in 3 weeks of this training that we've planned together, is we've seen 25% of the squad have had personal bests in some of their performance tests. Now, why is that important? It's important because we've got 5 years of historical data. So in 3 weeks, we've seen massive improvements by doing some maintenance work, which we're going to do back at the Vale, and we're going to make the Vale really hot, and the WRU are really lucky to have their own hypoxic environment. We can maintain these, and we're going to maintain them, and we're going to go into the World Cup in flying condition.